Hello everyone and welcome to the Always Ready podcast, brought to you by HARMAN Automotive. Now this is a program for automotive engineering and product management professionals and enthusiasts where we look at the very latest consumer-centric mobility experiences and look at the technologies driving them and so much more. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Oisin Lunny. I help great people, companies and organizations tell their best stories through podcasts, through digital experiences and through events. So I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined today by Marcus Futterlieb. He's got a great CV. He's a product manager and system acceptance lead at HARMAN, and he's a former aerospace engineer with several years of experience at companies like Airbus, Stellantis and Renault. And in the past decade, his focus has been on mainly the advanced driver assistance systems, autonomous driving, and since he joined HARMAN, the in-cabin experience, or ICX. So all the good stuff right there. We are absolutely delighted to have you here, Marcus. Talk to us a little bit about what you do at HARMAN and, how long you've been there, how you got there, a little bit about your backstory.
I joined HARMAN 2021. I'm coming up to 4 years now. 3 years with the in-cabin experience team here. And my latest role now is system acceptance lead. Think of it as basically like the last gate before we release anything for demos, but also our products to customers. So that's what my team is doing. And naturally, due to this, like having a big overview of our products, we also do most of the demos. Yeah.
Nice. So you're the last person before the gate. I can call you the gatekeeper. Would that be fine?
I mean, you would have to ask my team, but I'm pretty sure that's what they would say. Yes.
Okay, excellent. So let's dive into the products. Talk to us a bit about Ready Care and, why was it created in the first place?
Let me start with an oversimplification here. Ready Care is there for your safety, so that is its main function. But and that basically puts it in the corner of what you would in the industry call driver monitoring systems. But now, to be clear, Ready Care, like our idea 3 years ago, was much more. Like if we would have just been looking for safety and a monitoring system, we might have called it Ready Safety, Ready Monitor. But Ready Care is Ready Care because we're looking into anything that is beyond, anything that is possible with the sensors that come to provide the safety, and anything we can deliver on top. Let me give you a small example. When we're talking about safety, we're talking about Euro NCAP, we're talking about general safety regulation in Europe. There's regulations here in the United States that we need to fulfill. And on top of this, we deliver consumer experience features like heart rate detection, breathing rate. All of this accumulates into stress. That's what we're doing with Ready Care.
Wow, so Ready Care can tell whether I'm stressed or not when I'm driving. Would that be right to say?
That's correct, yes.
Amazing, my goodness. So that could be quite fun if you're driving, or if you're a passenger with somebody and they're definitely stressed. And you can say, listen, you might want to de-stress a bit. And if they say, I'm not stressed, then the car will actually know if they're stressed or not.
Correct. So, I mean, we have partners here like Gentherm, maybe you can see it in the back, that deliver premium experiences and massage functions in the seat. So these are things that are enabled through Ready Care.
Amazing. So, if the driver is being stressed, the driver can maybe start getting a nice massage. And
that is exactly the point, yes.
That is amazing. Wow.
And again, back to this point of oversimplification. So again, like, of course, we fulfill all regulation and ranking and rankings that you can think of. But on top of that, we deliver these health and well-being features, like consumer experiences, but also we go beyond the scope of what is currently regulation. We have a unique feature here at HARMAN that we call cognitive distraction. So right now, regulation is focusing on eyes on road. Whether your eyes are staying on the road, that is basically how you measure if someone is distracted or not. And for visual distraction, that is the case. But as you might know, sometimes when you're driving, maybe you're daydreaming a bit, maybe your focus shifts, even though your eyes are on the road. And we have a feature that can detect that and prevent you from having accidents.
Fantastic. So listen, your car is going to detect when you're stressed. It's going to make you a bit more relaxed. It's going to detect when you're a bit absent-minded. It's going to, click the fingers in front of you virtually, or kind of make sure that you're paying full attention. It's better safety for folks inside the car and for folks outside the car. This is fantastic. It's like better, community stewardship and being a better citizen. I love this very much. Talk to us a bit about some of the other benefits of Ready Care, both for the drivers, the passengers, the consumers, and for the OEMs, the car manufacturers.
Yeah, a perfect question. So the thing is that right now I describe to you like the safety, health, well-being, maybe a little bit going beyond the scope, but you need to think of Ready Care as the key enabler for any other functions you have as your in-cabin experience. Now, yeah, maybe a little bit too generic, but let's just go with one example. Let's say you want to change your songs, but you don't want to use your fingers. You just want to do it with a gesture. We already care as your enabler for that because we have sensors in the cabin, like our cameras, right, and our radar. This we can enable all of these functions.
Wow. Wow. So Ready Care is kind of a framework, a system, a technology ecosystem that can deliver these completely new consumer experiences, automotive grade.
Perfect.
Fantastic. I love it. And this is not something that is easy to do. As I was saying to Shilpa Diadai earlier, if it was easy, everyone would do it. It's not. It's very difficult. You need very advanced technology. You need a brilliant team. You need amazing ecosystems. You need collaboration. What were some of the challenges that you came across in terms of delivering this amazing platforms?
The sum is greater than its parts. And you learn this as an engineer. There's a lot of concepts currently out there. I'm pretty sure with your tablet, with your phone, you can download right away an app that uses a camera to detect your heart rate. It's called RPPG, and it's really not rocket science. But what we did with ReadyCare is that we enabled this for the car, and that's not just like me talking about this. This is really difficult because we're using near-infrared cameras because simply enough, we want to know whether you're distracted or not, whether you're sleepy or not, also during the night. And we cannot turn on the cabin light. So that app on your phone will work during the day, but it will not work during the night or during poor lighting conditions. So that's really when Ready Care shines, because it works the same way during the day as during the night. And on top of that, of course, you need to look at the computational footprint that you need to have, right? Like right now, let's say we're talking about, let's stick with heart rate, which is a key enabler for stress detection. Now, that's not a safety relevant feature yet. So the computational footprint you will get is quite small. So you have to make sure that your function actually fits in that footprint that is allocated to you.
There's so many considerations there. I mean, it is a restrained space physically. Everything is kind of looking for room in the cockpit, and you have to make these very elegant solutions in a way that makes sense for the end consumer and also for the OEMs who need to fit this stuff in very elegantly and perfectly. That's so interesting. So, is there anything that you can share about what's happening under the hood? Excuse the pun, I have used it many times on the podcast, but in terms of how the actual smart technology works with ReadyCare, what is happening behind the scenes?
Basically, you would divide a system into whether it's a classical approach, like a rule-based system, or if it's something new, something like AI, machine learning. But ReadyCare combines both, which is natural, which is completely normal because, for example, for your face detection, we would leverage machine learning because it's much faster. But for example, for our key features like cognitive distraction, our secret sauce is in having these cross-functional teams. So we have neuroscientists on staff that are actually evaluating our data, evaluating our tests, and making sure that the databases that we have are well, tagged, as we call it.
Phenomenal. My goodness, there's the science part, my friends. And let's go into a bit of the engineering. Talk to us a bit about some of the sensors and cameras and things that are actually inside the cabin to make this ReadyCare experience happen. What can we share with our viewers?
Sure thing. Well, I mean, actually, I'm a software developer, but in my 3 years within HARMAN, I've come to really love hardware. So I really love our cameras. So we have a near-infrared camera that is dedicated for the driver. So we have a fairly small field of view, which makes sure that the resolution that we have is really focused on your face. That's what we need for getting a heart rate detection, right? That's what we need, but obviously for any safety features. You're distracted, sleepiness, all of this we do with the driver monitoring camera. And then we have an occupant camera. An occupant camera that has a much larger field of view. You would usually have it more central in the cabin, while the driver monitoring camera is really focused on the driver. The occupant camera is probably more centric, like maybe the rear view mirror, somewhere. We can have it in many positions. Actually, with some customers, we have it in very interesting positions. But I think the standard position you would think of is the rear view mirror area. Now, that camera we use for breathing detection, but also for driver activity. So if you're eating, drinking, anything that the driver-centric camera might not be able to see. And of course, the distractions, phones, right, like texting, all of this. And then we have a 60 gigahertz in-cabin radar, which has a huge advantage that you will not find with cameras. Cameras, they work fairly well, they're very efficient, but they cannot, once something is occluded, they cannot see, they can only guess what is there. So our radar can actually see through thin material. It doesn't need direct line of sight. Yeah, it's an excellent enabler for things like child presence detection. Think about like the Hot Car Act in the United States, where sadly still a lot of toddlers might die of overheating. That's something that we want to avoid. And with our 60 gigahertz radar, we can actually enable this. Toddlers usually mounted rear facing in the car, so no chance to see them with the camera, but the radar can see them and the radar can actually detect their breathing.
Oh, wow. I mean, that is an avoidable tragedy, and I'm
Absolutely.
very happy to hear that Harman Automotive's technology can make sure that never happens again in vehicles that have this great technology installed. So that is brilliant. Absolutely a wonderful development. I'm glad to hear it. So you've kind of outlined some of the ways in which this great technology is detecting when people are distracted or drowsy, or things are not quite as they should be in the car. In terms of safety and compliance, etc. Talk to us about what happens next. What are some of the personalized interventions that are available, as a remedy to these situations?
Anything you can think of. That's not saying much, but of course, anything that is regulatory demand. So a chime, a warning message on the cluster. So anything that is quite standard, of course, we do it, and it is demanded by regulation. However, so our idea, and that's why using like the name Ready Care, is that we go far beyond this. So here at CES, for example, we have an integration with the virtual personal assistant, Luna. So, and of course, the use cases here at CES are quite short because of the time that we have. But just think about like the extension of this. Um, of course, we have other use cases like with Gentherm, our partner, being able to blow cold air on your neck when we detect that you're fatigued, like starting the giving you a massage so that you're alert again, that you're awake again. All of this we do. We change the cabin lighting. Of course, we're an audio company, so we take a look at your playlist. We take a look at the equalizer. All of this. But I think the future is with Luna, with our virtual personal assistant, where you can then, especially because ReadyCare can detect much earlier when you're falling asleep. We're not talking about your eyes are shut and now we warn you. No, we can warn you in advance. So when we can warn you in advance, we can actually start an interaction with the virtual personal assistant. You might have this experience as well, that even if you're drowsy, if you're sleepy during a drive, but you have a nice conversation with someone, suddenly it does, like, the drive doesn't feel so bad. Now again, the only remedy for drowsiness is sleep. We know this. But maybe we can extend your alertness state for another half an hour, maybe so you get to your home safely.
Yeah, and that can make all the difference. And I love the fact that it's preemptive again, and it's also good kind of on-road citizenship. You're making the roads safer for everybody by these great technology and personalized interventions. And I have to say, Luna, the hit of CES, it's absolutely wonderful and adorable on-dash assistant who pops up and kind of knows what you need before you know it yourself.
And the thing is, when you have so many options for interventions, that's actually when we can personalize them. So the idea of ReadyCare is that we're continuously measuring. So something that works for me might not work for you, but ReadyCare will know this and will adapt.
Brilliant, brilliant. So talk to us a bit about some of the regulatory requirements, or how ReadyCare is kind of meeting these. Is ReadyCare fully compliant with NCAP and GSR regulations?
Absolutely. So Regulation is always a big topic here because that's a main driver for getting these systems into the vehicle. Of course, we provide a possibility for companies to monetize, for new ways to interact with your customer, but of course, driven through regulation. And GSR, General Safety Regulation in Europe, of course, is a main driver, and we are compliant. And NCAP as well. So right now, there was a big milestone June of this year. We are completely compliant. We are already compliant for the 2026 regulations. And of course, now we're looking at 2029 and beyond that.
Awesome. You're always ready for the regulations. I like to hear that. That's
I mean, that's the idea, right? Ready products, since our idea is that they're available within 3, 6, maybe 9 months for some features for our OEMs, we need to be ready before the regulation comes into effect.
Yeah, absolutely. If people are walking out of CES now with, a box of ReadyCare under their arm virtually, or metaphorically,
And I have one over there.
Oh, nice. I've seen it. It's brilliant. I love it. The demos here are just absolutely fantastic. There's queues of people waiting to see them, and the reactions have been just brilliant. Now, speaking of which, what kind of features and functions are people seeing when they come and visit you at your demo at CES?
All right. So this year, I mean, we can show anything here. We are always ready. But considering the time that we have with our customers, to this CES, we're really focusing on what we call our advanced features. So, of course, we provide drowsiness, we provide visual distraction, but we want to show cognitive distraction. We want to show, and we will show, heart rate detection, breathing detection, and how this all aggregates into something that we are showing for the first time this year, a driver engagement score. So we've been listening to our customers, and we've seen that they really like us providing all of these signals. And as it is with engineers, with scientists, of course, any solution creates new problems. So in the past few years, they came to us and we really like all of these. But now I have someone who might be slightly distracted manually, but is looking at the road and is falling asleep. So can you give me one indicator of if I need to do a warning? And this is our driver engagement score. So, and you can actually see it in one of the cars live. So after the drive, it will give you even a review, like a kind of recap of how your driver engagement was, and hopefully push you for the next drive to do better.
That is so cool because, once you pass your test, you're kind of out on the road, and who sits beside you giving you tips on how to get better and get safer? Now it is ReadyCare. This is great. And what's some of the reactions been of folks who've had a demo, they've seen the detection and the interventions? What have people said?
So, I mean, here I really need to credit our marketing team because they really outdid themselves. Last year we had a kiosk which was really nice. Like we had the chance to talk to so many customers, but this year we actually have something we call internally the lightweight bug. It's a demonstrator. It's basically like a in-cabin replica without the whole car around it, and we can actually show everything live. It's as if you're in the car, but yeah, we can do all the explanations and have even a huge crowd. So it's this, and of course, the driver engagement score. Many people that come to CES don't come here for the first time. So you meet the same people, and they are really happy that we are listening to our customers, and we're providing them with solutions that they want.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. Yeah. And it must be very rewarding to kind of meet, partners and clients and potential clients, and they can see how far things have come since the previous CES.
Exactly.
It is, literally jaw-dropping some of the technology that is available and ready to go here today. It's been so impressive. But how do you think that the ReadyCare products, this kind of latest, greatest iteration of ReadyCare, will impact the future of the automotive industry?
Well, I think we touched on this a little bit with the virtual personal assistant. For me, ReadyCare will always be the enabler. Like we gather information of course, in a positive way. Like we are not Big Brother, so everything stays within the vehicle confines. Anything that you want on, for example, stuff like companion apps we would need to opt in. So we are obviously making sure that your data stays with you. But the idea is that anything that makes your life a little bit easier will be enabled through ReadyCare. Oftentimes, maybe like in one of the vehicles here, where our camera is, for example, under the display, you won't even notice that it comes from ReadyCare. But that's our idea, like make your life a little bit better without you even noticing it.
Sounds good to me. Take my money already. But I know from our chat with Shilpa Didai earlier that the privacy implications or considerations are very much looked after, and it's completely compliant, and all of that stuff is absolutely nailed down. So the consumer can have complete confidence that what happens, to use a Vegas metaphor, what happens in the car stays in the car.
Perfect metaphor.
Right. So listen, Marcus, that's been utterly fascinating. Thank you so much for your time. I'm wondering, is there anything else that you want to share with our wonderful viewers and listeners before we wrap up?
We present everything, and I'm pretty sure like people they really appreciate it. But I think what needs to be clear that all of this is this is a product. This is not a proof of concept. This is not a study. All of this is off the shelf available. We have this nice demonstrator that we talked about, but next to it we have this box. We literally use this. This is a part of our customer success stories that we actually say like, look, you've seen it here, you've seen it in the cars. Maybe you're interested, and we come by with one of our Auto One cars. But often customers say like, okay, it works in this car, but my car is a little bit different. That's when we come with our box and really show, hey, all of this is available now and is available in your car. So yeah, that would be what I would like to share.
Excellent. The perfect note to end on. So listen, Marcus Futterlieb, thank you so much for joining us on the Always Ready podcast.
Thank you.
Folks at home, I hope you enjoyed that discussion as much as I did. That was utterly fascinating. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and tell your friends, family, and colleagues about the Always Ready podcast, brought to you by HARMAN Automotive. For much more great content, interviews, challenges, and all the good stuff, don't forget to visit car.harman.com and also explore.harman.com, because there's so much great content there and it is updated all the time. Thank you so much for joining us here. We're at CES in Las Vegas, and we will see you next time.